You seem very intentional with your training.
Thank you.
And
Yeah.
like very dialed in,
Yeah.
not too hard, but hard when you need to be.
Yeah.
And you're just being smart about it.
That's actually something I'd love to talk about.
Yeah.
And
Let's do it.
and one of your prompts was what would I recommend to other people for training? And one of those is intentionality, right? On your hard days, go hard. Wear your race gear, fuel up properly, treat it like it is a race. On your easy days, take it easy. And it's this polarization, I think, is the next step in fitness science. We're seeing it a lot. People saying avoid the gray zones for triathlon training, and yeah, make your easy days easy, your hard days hard. I think that's huge. And also in the general sense of fitness and working out, we're seeing, I love group fitness classes. I'm a coach, and there's a great energy with that and a social component and just a really fun part of it. And you can easily schedule it in your day. But when you just do those and you just grind yourself down and you're not really going super intense or super like reserved in zone 2, then you're just grinding your body away. And also that's leading to a lot of hormone imbalances in women too. And that's basically the premise, right? Stacy Sims talks about it with Huberman on her podcast. She's a great listen if you guys want to find more information from her, the expert, not me. But we're so often like kind of doing half and half, and I'm not knocking it, right? Any movement is medicine. If F45 or Orange Theory or Soul Cycle or whatever, or berries gets you moving, great. But just, I wouldn't recommend doing that 4 or 5 times a week.
Yeah.
You got to take time to do just strength or just some cardio and balance out your training.
Yeah, that you sent me that podcast,
Yeah.
and I listened to the first like hour this morning.
Oh wow.
And it's good.
Yeah.
It's mostly targeted towards like female athletes and, and just like females in general. But there's a lot of stuff that also applies to males, obviously.
Yeah.
There's a lot of really fascinating stuff in there. Like I think that the point of like doing high intensity stuff, but only when you can truly push high intensity.
Yeah.
Like great point you made of like, don't do it every day because you're not gonna be able to push your true high intensity every single day.
Yeah.
So I think she said like a couple times a week, maybe like maybe 2 times. I don't think she said a specific number, but I'm sure it's subjective.
Yeah.
But,
yeah. It really depends on your health and your fitness level. But yeah, 3 or 4 days doing just hit or spin, and you're in a much better spot than doing it 5 days a week.
Yeah, that gray zone is where people get lost, I think. And that's
Yeah.
where probably most people end up training.
Yeah.
Especially if they're
And
doing those types
plateauing.
of classes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's how I started running, was like I would try and run at like
Me too.
7 to
Me
7:30
too.
pace because it was like the hardest I could go for like 4 miles, but I wasn't really like doing anything.
Yeah. And you know what? If like I used to do those on Fridays, I'd be pent up from like a hard day of work or like long week, and I'd be like, I'm just gonna run 5 miles as fast as I can. You know what? Every once in a while, okay, sure, call it a tempo workout. But yeah, your training should be intentional. It shouldn't just be going out and just like running however fast you feel that day. But I did the same thing, so it's good to know that like yeah, we were lost runners, and now hey, I mean, you're an incredible runner too, and it takes time to build this base up, but once you do, it's really fun.
Yeah, I think that's what Zone 2 really does the best. Is it allows you to put on a lot of miles, which is you're probably getting more like muscular and like joint benefits, I guess. Like just building up all that connective tissue and everything, and then building that muscular endurance. And then it's like your cardio really probably comes from the high intensity days, but because the intensity is so high, it doesn't really take that much to get a lot of gains. That's my kind of understanding and experience with it.
Yes. I think that's generally the science around it. And your lactate threshold improves way more with your HIIT training than it does with your Zone 2.
Right.
Yeah.
So how do you balance those now? Like what's your like typical training structure look like?
Yeah. I'm pinning that down right now. I'm working with a new coach, Ryan Geiger, and he's been phenomenal and a big endurance coach. We are focusing on easy days being easy, hard days being hard. It's looking like, for me, 2 days of Zone 2, a really intense HYROX specific workout day, which for like sleds has been treadmill ramps, pretty miserable. Like you're just going 4%, 6%, 10% up on that treadmill for like 30 or 40 minutes.
Oh, geez. How do you structure that workout? Is that continuous?
Or
what's
yes,
that look like?
It was this treadmill ramp test. It was terrible, but I loved it. The treadmill workout was at the 2% incline, and then 6%, and then 10%. You do 2 minutes on each.
Okay.
I repeat that. 2, 6, 10, 2, 6, 10.
At the same speed?
Speed increases 0.5 miles per hour each round.
And that kind of reminds me, have you ever done a VO2 max test?
I have not, but I'm going to do one in 2 weeks. I'm very excited.
Are you going to Helix?
I'm going to HYROX.
Oh, is that here in Austin?
Up in the Grove, kind of near the Domain.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Shout out to HYROX.
I haven't heard of them. Is that new?
They're very new. They're this very bougie boutique health and wellness center. They have some shockwave therapy as well as PMEF mats.
What is shockwave therapy?
They use, I'm not a doctor, but essentially they use shockwaves, like very loud sound waves to help regenerate or like promote blood flow to different parts of your body.
Whoa.
So I put it on
I've
my
never
knee.
heard of that.
Yeah. I had some patellar tendonitis and I've been trying it with shockwave therapy.
Well, they just like a speaker up to your knee or what?
Basically, yeah.
What?
Just rock out.
Dude, it works?
It hurts. It's like it's like a very sharp sounding shock, but then you like don't work on it for like a day or two and let the blood flow back to it. And
how loud is it? Like, did you have to wear headphones or something?
It's just like a really loud clap, but it's all like it's like a beam of sound rather than like a large wave.
This sounds like some like alien kind of
like
woo-woo shit.
Yeah. Well, hey, I like to say that I'm one woo only. I'm definitely, you got to be open to these kind of things.
Right.
Think about like in 50 years, what we're going to know about health and science and the way particles interact and energy and all this stuff that like we can't quite explain right now, but we're going to be like, yeah, of course it was silly to have phones next to our head or Bluetooth next to our head or all these other things. And I mean, we can't say for certain that these things aren't necessarily possibly bad for our health. We don't know. I mean, do we know long-term effects of phones? They've only been out for 10, 20 years.
Dude, there's a 5G tower like a quarter mile from here.
I felt funny.
Dude, I literally run within 100 yards of it every day. It's right on my route. And every day I run by it, I'm like, is this thing just zapping my brain cells? Like, it can't be good, right?
No.
Like, it's sending out, I've Googled it. The people on Reddit said it's safe.
The trusty people have read it. Yeah.
But it seems like it wouldn't be good.
Yeah, there's been a lot of studies on like the 5G millimeter waves just being way more disruptive to cell reproduction.
I don't know. Sometimes I'm like, should we be living this close to a tower? I mean, there's a house like right next to it. I'm like, that can't be good.
Yeah, no.
Interesting. Okay, so shockwave therapy. We took a tangent there. I gotta look more into that. It sounds interesting.
Yeah.
I'm open-minded.
Absolutely.
If it works, like
my buddy works there, Ben, and he got me in the door, and I'm really excited to go there more often.
That's sick. Okay, we got really sidetracked. We were talking about your treadmill workout.
Yes. Okay. So, and we were talking about my general workout scheme. So yeah, I do, as I was talking about, you can do HYROX workouts without the equipment, right? A great sled push workout is this treadmill workout, 2%, 6%, 10%, 2 minutes each, increasing the speed 0.5 miles per hour every round, every time you finish that 10. So
that sounds gnarly.
Yeah. And it's just like, see how many levels you can get to. And I almost finished 6. I was having a rough day, but I think that if I got back to it, I could probably finish 6 and get into 7.
Dang.
So
how fast were you going?
You start at 6 miles per hour.
Dude, that's pretty fast to
so
be going at that incline.
Yeah. 6, 6.5, 7, 7.5.
And then it's 2 minutes at each one?
And then I was at 8, and then 8.5 was when I couldn't finish it.
And you do 2 minutes at each?
Yeah.
Dude. So how long were you on the treadmill for?
36 minutes.
Dang.
Just under.
That sounds gnarly.
Yeah.
Dude. The reason I asked about
Give it a rip.
Okay, maybe. We'll see.
Yeah, you have to really like want to get after it or do it with some buddies or something.
Yeah.
Plus finding treadmills is harder than finding assault runners these days.
That's true. I have one here. I have no excuses.
Okay. No excuses.
Damn. Okay. Maybe I'll do that today.
Hey, next time I do it, I'll hit you up and maybe we can do it together. And it's a lot more motivational when you're seeing someone suffer next to you.
Dude, maybe I'll do it this afternoon. I was going to do a strength workout. Maybe I'll just do that.
Okay.
Because I don't have a sled here.
Yeah, just be ready to hobble around tomorrow.
Okay, good. I'm running a half on Sunday, so that'll be perfect.
Yeah, you've had a crazy schedule.
It's been too much.
Yeah.
Too much. Dude, my legs are zapped still from the Grand Canyon last weekend. But
yeah, that looked phenomenal.
Yeah, it was fun.
I cracked up at your 50 wall balls with the rock.
Dude,
yeah. I was going to suggest, do we need to do 50 wall balls after this podcast?
We might have to. I haven't done them yet today.
Okay. Yeah, got to get them done.
Okay.
That's something else I want to mention. And I told you this on it. I did 100 wall balls 5 days a week leading up to my Houston race, being like, oh, those are my weak spot. I need to focus on them. I need to dig in after my workout. Just like in HYROX, it's the end of the workout. Don't know if that's a great idea. Really strained my hip flexors a lot. Like having a weighted squat like that 5 days a week is really tough on your hip. My PT was like, what the hell are you doing? So risk reward here, maybe just focus on like some heavy front squats or some practice with thrusters and kettlebells 2 or 3 days a week, but you do not need to do wall balls 5 days a week.
I think it's that's a good point. I feel like for me, maybe it's more of a mental thing.
Oh yeah.
Because it's like 50 wall balls takes like 2 or 3 minutes. It's pretty fast. It's not that difficult.
Yeah.
But I think it's maybe a mental thing to just build confidence, because I've always been so bad at squatting. It just always, for whatever reason, felt really uncomfortable. And so like doing it 100 times on race day is like, God, that's a lot of squats.
Yeah.
So just building up the confidence. But
you only have to do it once on race day.
That's
and
true.
You've got everyone in the arena is like in the bleachers is looking over you and cheering you on. So it is a soul sucking part of the race. Like it is really tough, but I think that's what brings the magic to it.
Yeah.
And I think that's something that traditional endurance athletes are really going to like about this. I'm excited for you to feel it because it is just a sensation and you're just so happy to get over that finish line at that point. And you're redlining there at that point. So It's something that you're taught not to do in endurance sports, right? Like you need to stay under your threshold to make it through the full marathon or half marathon.
I mean, it's like mile 25, 26 of the marathon.
That's when you can put your foot on the gas.
Yeah.
Or maybe not 25, depending on your level, but
right.
Yeah.
We'll see. Yeah, that's awesome. I'm excited.
Yeah.